When the sun rises on a world where gravity has suddenly doubled, the change is immediate and brutal. Every object, every building, every living thing now weighs twice as much as it did the night before. The air is filled with unfamiliar sounds. The groaning of steel, the cracking of wood, and the distant crash of things toppling to the ground. People wake to a jarring new reality. Their bodies, heavy and sluggish, make even sitting up in bed a monumental effort. Cups slip from hands, shattering on floors that suddenly seem much farther away. In cities, the infrastructure groans under the strain. Bridges buckle, old apartment blocks sag, and roads develop sudden, ominous cracks. Emergency services are overwhelmed by calls as elevators stall, staircases collapse, and vehicles struggle to move. The world's first reaction is one of confusion and awe, quickly tipping into panic as the true magnitude of the change becomes clear. Everything is heavier, slower, and more dangerous. As hours turn to days, the biological consequences of doubled gravity become painfully clear. Every movement is a struggle. Standing requires the effort of a squat. Walking feels like wading through invisible mud. People tire quickly, their muscles burning with the effort of daily tasks. The elderly and those with health conditions are particularly vulnerable, many confined to bed as their bodies simply cannot cope. Sports and outdoor activities grind to a halt. Children, once energetic, now crawl or drag themselves. Hospitals fill with cases of sprains, fractures, and exhaustion. Even the simple act of lifting a grocery bag becomes a feat of strength. Scientists warn that bones and joints, adapted for lighter loads, will deteriorate rapidly unless people adapt. In response, communities begin to innovate. Makeshift exoskeletons appear, homemade ramps replace stairs, and public spaces are hastily retrofitted for a heavier world. For the first time in history, humanity is united by a single, inescapable physical challenge: survival in a world that now feels twice as hard. Within weeks, the true fragility of modern civilization is exposed. Buildings not designed for the sudden weight begin to fail, especially older structures and skyscrapers. Bridges and elevated roads become hazardous, prompting mass closures and rerouting of essential traffic. Air travel ceases entirely. Planes cannot generate enough lift to take off, and airports sit abandoned. Even trains and buses are forced to slow down as engines strain and rails warp. Food supply chains falter, agricultural equipment breaks down, and harvests dwindle as crops, too, struggle against the pull of gravity. But necessity breeds invention. Engineers race to reinforce critical infrastructure with new materials and creative designs. Underground cities, naturally supported by the Earth itself, become more appealing. Lightweight materials and modular construction dominate new architecture. Society shifts toward local production, walking and cycling. Cars are too heavy and fuel too precious to waste on heavy transport. The world, once built for speed and verticality, is forced to reinvent itself around slowness, resilience, and the horizontal. The natural world, too, is reshaped by gravity's new grip. Tall trees, unable to support their own massive weight, topple or fail to grow beyond a few meters. Birds, once masters of the sky, struggle to fly. Only the strongest and smallest species survive, while larger birds become earthbound. Insects thrive, their tiny bodies well suited to the new normal, while mammals and reptiles adapt slowly or perish. Rivers flow more sluggishly, their currents fighting against gravity. Mountain slopes become more prone to landslides, while coastal cliffs collapse more often. Ocean tides, driven by gravity, become more extreme, reshaping coastlines and threatening low-lying cities. With ecosystems in turmoil, new niches open for adaptable species. Evolution accelerates, and within decades, the world's flora and fauna look very different. Squat, sturdy trees, flightless birds, and a proliferation of burrowing creatures dominate the landscape. Humanity too learns to watch and learn from nature's relentless drive to adapt or die. As generations pass, humanity adapts, slowly, painfully, but inevitably. Children are born shorter and sturdier, with denser bones and powerful leg muscles. Fashion and technology change. Clothing is reinforced, shoes are thick-soled, and exoskeletons evolve into sleek, everyday wear. Architecture becomes squat and sprawling, with most buildings no higher than 2 stories. The arts and sports transform, dance becomes a celebration of strength, and new games emerge that reward balance and muscle over speed. Gravity, once invisible and taken for granted, becomes central to culture, philosophy, and identity. The stars seem farther away, the mountains more imposing, but the bonds between people grow stronger. Cooperation and empathy become essential for survival. In time, humanity's relationship with the planet is fundamentally altered. No longer a species that leaps and soars, but one that endures, adapts, and thrives under pressure. The world is heavier, but so are its stories, its dreams, and its will to survive.